Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here on Schmoe Me the Money. Jeff, I'm so fucking pissed at you right now.
Why
that was like, that is the worst take I've ever. You're saying that Joss Whedon's Justice League, which is a big old pile of flaming dog shit.
Yeah, it's a bad movie. Absolutely.
Is better than Batman v Superman: The Ultimate Cut.
Yes, because I think
you're a goddamn moron.
I think a Frankenstein vision in which you don't feel absolutely miserable for 2 hours is better than to have Snyder uncut for 3 solid hours trying to make you frown as hard as you can.
I can't fathom where that thought process came from.
I guess the problem is that you're really mad that I said 2 movies are awful and I prefer one awful movie over another awful movie.
Yes, both of them are not good movies whatsoever, but Justice League is a big old burning pile of dog shit.
Yeah, it's not good at all. I'm just saying.
Jerry, you just literally gave us maybe a new show idea. Schmoe Me the DC talk.
I don't know, man. I think that all it's going to be is just, hey, here's an opinion, and here's someone who doesn't agree. Let's all act like film Twitter, because that's entertaining, right? No, here's the deal. Either way, they're both garbage movies, and in one of them, I hated myself less while watching it than the other one. End of story.
I can't wait for you to rewatch that Justice League.
Absolutely. I can't wait to watch it either, because the first time I watched it during an early screening, a free screening filled with people that were super amped when they watched it. The guy in front of me turned around afterwards and said, "That was awesome. That was the best thing ever, wasn't it? That was amazing. That was amazing." And that's what colored my perception. And then the more I thought about it, the more I thought it was awful, 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 awful. Zach, you're in the chat. You're lying. You know that you're lying. So anyways, but that's not why we're here. We're not here to talk about shitty movies.
We're here to talk to 2 amazing people who also have a fantastic channel. They are half of the crew there over at What the Show. We got Mike Deacon and Bethany Curl. You guys, how's it going?
Hey.
Hi, everyone.
Hello,
I only look a little bit like a Texas senator's wife because I was at a wedding hair trial about 15 minutes ago. So this is it's a little messed up, but I feel like I'm looking a little Texas forever right now.
Hey,
so
I don't think that's a bad thing.
It's like Brandy's digging it. So yeah. So before you came on, Zach was so confused as to why you had to do like a hair trial, and then he realized, oh wait, they're getting married in like a couple weeks. That makes sense.
Yeah, we do.
When are you getting married again?
4, 3, 2, 1. Very easy to remember.
4, 3, 2, 1. Oh,
it's
that's very interesting.
Anniversary for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine sounded way more hickish. It's 10-4.
There you go.
Roger.
Also an easy one to remember.
10-4.
Yeah, it sound like a truck driver.
I love a good wedding date, like the people that come up with clever things. So I'm down. We got engaged on May 4th, so we couldn't do the wedding because we'd already.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right. May 4th.
On brand for us.
3 weeks.
My
from
wife
Saturday,
and I
right?
My wife and I tried to get September 21st. Mostly because that's the date that's specified in Earth, Wind, and Fire.
I was going to say because of the Earth, Wind, and Fire song.
like just specifically that, and literally no other reason.
I respect that.
So, yeah, I mean, you gotta go in on the bits. So
the lovely person who just was working on my hair just got married on, which also is the day that my friend was trying to get married originally before the COVID happened. On 10-10-20 because 10 plus 10 is 20. So I now know 2 people that was their wedding day. So that was the popular one of 2020. I think 4, 3, 2, 1 is going to be the popular one of 2021.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good date. Now that I never even thought about that. Not that I was paying attention to your wedding plans necessarily.
Gosh, Jeff, you weren't obsessed with our wedding and paying attention to the date. I love that.
No, not at all. But anyways, before we keep the conversation going, there's something very important though that we have to bring up, don't we?
Thanks.
There's something missing from our screen.
Yes. All right. So for those of you that have visited our channel before, you know that we use a clock or scoreboard during one of our shows. And so we decided, why not keep that going throughout the entire channel? So far, Bethany's already up 3-0.
What a shot.
Yeah, actually, I should have added more, but I didn't actually have the spreadsheet open. So she's definitely up more. Give me a second. I just need a load. It takes a bit. The algorithms and all that good stuff take a bit for it to boot up on my computer. Bethany, you're at least 5. Mike, you're a real big loser right now. Just saying. Just when it comes to who's more interesting.
I pretty much just
it comes to who's more interesting.
If I'm honest, I'm like, oh, we're going on a show. Can I possibly beat you in it? Okay.
No, Jerry. It's not a binder. It's a dossier. Jeff has a dossier.
That's what makes it. That's what makes it a fish. If it's a dossier.
We still haven't seen today's match, so no spoilers anymore.
Yeah, no spoilers in the chat.
Haven't seen it either. I saw the very end of it, and that's it. So I haven't watched how the whole thing goes. I've only seen how it ends.
But you know the ending?
I know the ending because I popped onto the screen. It's not my fault that it premiered 2.5 hours later or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that's a very fair point that you make.
Nah, I think we can just blame Jeff for everything that goes wrong in the world.
Anyways, there's this third number here. We could have it be where we can keep counting down so Buck can get negative points during this conversation. But
wait, is that even possible? Can we go negative?
Yeah, well,
yes, we can. Oh my God, the spreadsheet does go to negative numbers.
Fuck yes.
I'm into it. I'm super.
I don't know. Are you really that excited about negative numbers, Mike?
Okay, we're going to talk about Mortal Kombat Annihilation and all of its technical
I will
accuracies.
Tell you, this is the man. So there's the ride at Epcot, if no one is familiar with it. It's called Test Track. And you used to, before COVID times when you couldn't touch things, you used to be able to design your own car. And he purposely, most people are going in trying to make a good car. He purposely would go in and try to get it in the negative, as low as a possible number as he could.
I've gotten the vehicle efficiency to a -9, which I think is as low as you can possibly get.
He's really quite proud of that. So yeah, that's
I'm gonna give you some points just to dedicate to that sort of thing.
To that.
I've been on that ride many times and every single time I'm like, if this car actually existed, it would punch a hole in the ozone layer the second you turned it on. So.
Yeah, anytime it comes to the fuel economy, any kind of
this thing
ecosystem,
0.02 miles per gallon probably with what I was building.
No one could afford to pay the gas prices for it.
It was pure plasma.
Pure plasma, eh? Plasma.
Pure plasma. That's all I'm gonna say.
So I got a question.
Kind of answer.
As I take a sip first. So you both are in and around amusement parks, big parks like that, pretty frequently, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right?
Very frequently.
very, very frequently. Which I guess of all of them there, not just where you may have worked, etc. What's your favorite one? What specific park and what specific one is your favorite? It doesn't have to be the one that you're always at. It could be one that you've only gone a few times.
That's very easy for both of us.
Yeah, mine's Epcot.
Epcot
100%. It's because it's not just rides. There's so much to do there, especially when you're older. When you're a kid,
Drink around the world
on Earth.
He likes
around the world. I remember we went to Drink Around the World, and then I was like, oh shoot, should have budgeted better for this. Yeah. But now that I'm an adult, we got credit cards, so we're all good.
So I got to the point.
Yeah, we'll just pay for it later.
We went when I first moved here. I went about once a week. To the point where the bartender at Morocco knew who I was.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you how sad we are, and then I'm going to give you an answer of my favorite theme park, because I can wax poetic about it, and also my favorite Imagineer, because you don't want to get me started on that, but because they kind of coincide with each other. But anyways, we literally, this is really sad, but we have a bartender in each park, because there's 4 parks in Disney World, and there's our go-to bartender in each one. I'm like, does that mean we're at it's not a good sign, right? That we're a regular at a bar in each Disney theme park.
But I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a great thing.
Free drinks at quite a few Disney
It means
bars.
you love joy and you love to be drunk around joy. It's fine.
You made friends. What is the wrong thing with making friends?
We do make friends.
When we went to Morocco the first time we went, the bartender's name is Daniel. He's amazing. When we told him that we were engaged, he got us a drink. And it was super nice. He's like, oh, Nas, congratulations. And I was like, oh my God, thank you.
Nice. By the way, before we continue, I just wanted to point out, 6'9".
Yeah.
That's not.
Six.
All right,
No.
cool. Now we're just
My
want to make sure before we run.
is Animal Kingdom, and I will fight anyone that tells me that it's boring and terrible because it's beautiful, it's amazing, it's got great rides, it's got great food. Yes, I will say it is very hot in the summer.
It's ridiculously
Would not
hot there.
recommend doing that in like the dead heat of July, but it is, I just think, the most beautifully designed. There's animals. It's like half zoo, half theme park. How can you beat that? And my favorite Imagineer of all time, Joe Rohde, that's like his baby, and just his fingerprint is just all over that park and the ride, and just it's a gorgeous park.
There's also
you'll be drunk around animals.
Non-functioning Yeti animatronic.
I think I just heard, Jake. I think your invite has been rescinded.
Jake, listen, Jake. First of all, I don't even know if you've ever been to Animal Kingdom. I think you're just saying that to get me riled up, and it's working because I'm very passionate about Animal Kingdom. It doesn't get nearly enough love. It's like everyone's like, it's a half-day park. It's number 4, and I'm like, it's the best goddamn Disney park in North America. Someone fight me on it. I'm not going to say in the world because Tokyo Disney, which we'll make it to one day, is supposedly like Tokyo Disney Sea is supposedly the best park.
One day, that's we want to get there too. I know early on, like and when I say early on, I mean to say like early on in the years when I was with my wife when she had just graduated high school. This is back in 2011. We went to France with my family. So we went to Disneyland France back then. And you know what they have there? Another Space Mountain. I don't remember anything else.
They have a looping Space Mountain.
Mountain. It's super cute. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
They also got the Ratatouille ride before we did. That's one of the few things they hold over us.
Ooh, there's a Ratatouille.
Toy Story Land is super cute.
Yes, you do. Going to theme parks has got to be one of my favorite things to do when I travel.
There's a Ratatouille ride? Okay, can we back up?
It's opening in October. It's already in France.
Jerry,
this October, and I'm saying it out loud so she could hear. In October, there is a Ratatouille ride opening in Epcot.
October 1st.
October
in honor
1st.
of the 50th
October
anniversary
1st.
But Harry Potter World is amazing. I see Ashley M in the comments. That is.
I haven't been there yet.
So Ashley loves Harry Potter. Probably her
You
fandom.
would thoroughly enjoy. Have you not done either? So there's 2. So in Universal Orlando, anyway, there's 2 of them. There's the original, The Wizarding World, Harry Potter, and Islands of Adventure, and then there's Diagon Alley. Have you not done either of them, Ashley? Answer me. Sorry, everyone. I'm just gonna hijack this and talk to Ashley for a minute.
No, it's fine. No. We'll wait for her. Remember, there's like normally like a 15-second delay between when you say something on StreamYard to when it actually shows. So we have that time to fill. I mean, like for instance, I've never been to Harry Potter World. The last time I actually was around there when I went to Universal was before Harry Potter World was actually there.
Oh my God, Jeff, you have to. We'll get you one.
Yeah.
Ashley, you're invited. Go on down.
I mean, it's not that far for her. I'm just saying, she lives fairly close, or closer than I do. I live on the other side of the country.
I live north. I live north of there.
You live in Great Adventure Country.
Yeah, I live in Great Adventure Country. That is true. I live in Philly.
I'm not
the biggest ride around here are the art steps or the art museum steps. So
you have a Hershey Park's not that far from
That's
you.
true.
Ish part, not that.
Haven't been to Hershey Park.
I've
Been
never been, but my friends from Pennsylvania always tell me that it's lovely and it smells like chocolate.
Yeah,
so that's
I'm sure it is. I just somehow haven't been. So
they do. The thing I like about Hershey Park, again, having not been there, but from when they have like the How Tall Are You ride thing, so they compare everything to a candy. So it's like this ride if you're a Reese's peanut butter cup or below, this ride if you're, and I just think that's adorable. 10 out of 10 theming Hershey.
Yeah, I mean, if I went to Hershey Park, I'd just look around at all of like the Reese's cups and be like, man, I want a Butterfinger. But that's Nestle. So
that's true. You'd just be disappointed all night.
So you're saying you enjoy Butterfinger? This is controversial. You enjoy Butterfinger more than a Reese's peanut butter cup? Ooh, Jeff, I'm learning.
So all right. So here it is. I love Reese's. I love them.
Okay.
I have recently just been on a Butterfinger kick, but specifically, what makes Butterfinger so good is when they're cold. When you freeze them. or they're really cold, and then you bite into them when they're not when they're room temperature. They're not that great. Jake, you could fucking try.
Can I give Jeff a point?
I love Jeff gets a point. No, I'm just kidding. I love both. I love you as well, Jake.
But you know it's really good. Again, frozen Reese's. I'd say
probably
Reese's
are better cold, 100%.
Here, I like them both cold. I would probably only eat a Reese at warmer, like normal temperature. But Reese's are also really good when you have like those Keurig hot chocolates and stuff like that. If you take one of the wider ones and you put it at the bottom of the mug, and then you put hot chocolate and pour it into there.
I'm into this. How does everyone on this stream stand? What is your stance? Speaking of like candy, I like better cold. What is your stance on Peeps? Because I'm team Peeps, but I know that I usually stand alone on that regard.
I don't hate them, but I don't love them.
I'm team jelly bean. She's not a jelly bean. So.
I like jelly beans. I don't love them the way that you do, but I
feel like Mike bringing up jelly beans has nothing to do with Peeps. I don't think that they're mutually exclusive. I think you can like both or neither. I think that Peeps are weird. Peeps, I think, are weird. I don't like the texture.
Peeps are love hate. They are.
Yeah, Peeps are weird.
Am I the only person who likes Peeps? I think I
think so.
Have you tried them frozen, people? Because that's the game changer.
I don't want a frozen quasi marshmallow. I just
they're so good. Oh my god, I love Peeps.
Ooh, you know what I
love that they have them for like every.
Peeps are marshmallows though, right? Peeps are basically like a type of marshmallow. You know what would be great is to make a s'more with Peeps. I wonder how that would end up.
Oh, that I'm into. Yeah, 100. I've never tried, but I'm into it, and I would like to try that. I think that's a good.
Yeah. But as for the jelly beans, I'm not a big. It is driving me. It is like making my head spin that you just keep popping the screen back and forth for more comments.
Hey, I can't get a word in, Jeff, because you don't shut your fucking mouth.
Hey, why don't you say some fucking words? Also, my wife.
I fucking try, but you're always talking, and I'm trying to not just be as chaotic as our normal show. But fuck it, this is what our channel is.
Did y'all see what the show this week?
Because that was real. I apologize. I wasn't there this week, and I think it showed. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, I want to backtrack just a little bit, saying I've been to the Harry Potter land in Los Angeles.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty new, actually.
Not as good as ours.
I think it was like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, that only opened within I think 2017 that opened.
Okay, so I think it was 2018 then.
Yeah.
That feels about right.
Did you harass the conductor? Please tell me you harassed the conductor.
Why? Because it's John Roca? I didn't know who John Roca was at the time, so
I don't know who John Roca is now.
Movie talk is when Ellis used to tell people to go harass the Hogwarts train conductor. He's like, you might want to go see the Hogwarts train conductor. And then like he always would like break character because people would want him to like do outlaw stuff. And Universal probably like hated that because they were like, excuse me, sir, you like have to have it. Actually, fun fact, Hollywood operates a little bit differently than we do in that regard. Any entertainment people in Harry Potter, now they may have changed this recently and gotten a little bit more lax, but back in the day when they first opened up the Wizarding World, you had to actually be from England. They didn't want anyone putting on a phony British accent because we have so many travelers from England that I think they would like immediately suss that out. So I remember I used to watch Movie Talk and Ellis was like harping on Roca for that. I was like, that's so weird that he's allowed to have that role because in Orlando, they do not let anyone who has like a speaking role in Harry Potter, like not.
Could you imagine Roca trying to do an English accent though? Like,
I think we have. I mean, now they'll just let anyone who can just go like, hello, governor, what's for breakfast? Get like a fucking wand or whatever. Is that it? Is that how it works?
I think that was he was the train conductor, so he'd be like, "Oh, go into Hogwarts," you know.
Is it literally anyone that can just like walk up to a child and just go like, "You're a wizard," and then they get the job? Is that how it works? Because to me, I wouldn't like the idea of some old man walking up and whispering in like a weird Cockney accent, "You're a wizard," because I think that would indicate something very strange. By the way,
can you send me that video? Because I want to watch that.
You might be watching that tonight too. Actually, now
we're doing a watch along now. John Roca being.
I do just want to read this off here. I have a message here from my wife. She says, "What the fuck? Ew! What is wrong with you? Peeps S'more. I don't support any of this agenda or propaganda.
Oh no.
I 100% support it, and I would really like one. Also,
wait. Here she is in the chat. Here.
I'm trying to bring it up, but my computer is so slow that I click on it and like more.
Peeps, oh my God, Peeps are so good. I think I'm the only person here tonight with any love for Peeps. Other weird, fun Wizarding World fact, besides if you are in a speaking role, you have to be British or whatever, is you also are not allowed to know any of the Harry Potter characters. So if a child comes up to you and is like, say hi to Harry for me, you have to be like, oh, I don't know him. It's like this weird J.K. Rowling thing. Like, she doesn't want anyone to know. You're allowed to, like, know of them. Like, oh, yes, the guy who saved us all from Voldemort. But you're not allowed to, like, be friends with him. Like, it's this
there's a lot of things that J.K. Rowling doesn't want, but we don't necessarily need to.
That's very true.
Boy, is that true. Yeah,
yes. So, I'm, fuck her.
Basically, yeah. That's fair, but they like want to keep the rights because it makes a lot of money. So they play by her rules, even if they are her weird transphobic rules.
Whoa, Zach, you are not going to ban Paulina. You're not allowed to ban Paulina.
I mean, technically,
he does have he is now a mod, so he could if he wanted to. I just don't think that he should.
But Brandy's like, Nope, that ain't happening.
Brandy says no. We trust in Brandy.
Brandy also wants you to know that Peeps are the Warost. Now Paulina wants Jesse here. Peeps more like
Jesse is also not a fan.
Peeps more like poop. He also said ha ha ha. You said cockney. So I think he's just having fun with words now.
Yeah.
Should have been here for the 69.
Hey, Billy, master of puns.
Oh, hey. That's 2 points there because you mentioned 69.
Yeah.
Now I'm MJ, also 23. That's the amount of days it is until we get married.
20. Oh, is that how many days there are? You have one Jim Carrey movie away?
We're a Michael Jordan.
The number 23.
Getting married. Which I want to know. Minds think alike. Both me and my mother both woke up this morning, and I was gonna text her like, "Oh, like Michael Jordan till we get married, or whatever," and she beat me to it, and I was like, "Mom, we both thought of Michael Jordan." I'm like, which I think everyone does when you think of the number 23, but
yeah, I mean, I definitely think Jim Carrey at that time, but
my mother would never think.
What am I hearing?
She's not a fan. Yeah, what is?
Am I hearing John?
I was playing it on my phone. Oh,
hey, Buck,
so
can you wait? Buck, is it a YouTube link? What is that?
Yeah, hold on, I'll bring it up.
Can you bring that up? Can you somehow link it up and then we can all watch it and we could change this interview to a Let's Watch Roka with a British accent?
I'm game for this.
I just can't imagine that the British accent is good. It's got to be bad, right?
I've never.
All right.
You know what that doesn't say? It doesn't sound awful. It sounds like what Roka is, which is somewhere between not great and tolerable, I guess.
Is it a fourth pick in the fourth round?
Is it a fourth round accent?
Amount of accent.
We had our fictional characters draft, and nobody picked up in the chat on that joke that we had the fourth round pick of the fourth round be the conductor from Harry Potter. We were disappointed.
I didn't get a chance to see that, but that makes perfect sense. Of course, of course, you have to do that.
Yeah.
I personally, I backed out of being a part of like the Schmoedown player tier rankings.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably a good call I think it was a good call considering how long it went.
We were on there for a long time that night.
Yeah, and I would have wanted to see it to the end.
That we were debating, but I was like, listen, y'all, we have like 95 people to get through still, so let's just put them in put them in the
because like imagine if like I did say yes, like I backed out like an hour beforehand.
Right.
Imagine if I had like I'll do it. Would have gone longer because I would have also spoken, and I speak.
Buck, would you last about an hour and a half or something before you were like, "Ah, fuck this."
I think you were there for close to 2
he's focused.
hours.
He's very focused. He's super focused.
Hold on.
He's gonna get there. Don't worry. I'll give them points on your behalf.
Thanks. I like.
Ooh,
oh my God, it's happening.
Here we go.
I'm so excited. Oh my God.
All right.
I don't know
Robert?
how Yeah.
Oh, nice.
This is even better.
Lower the volume of the YouTube too, just so we know that. Okay.
He ain't there. He's like, started working for you know. I get yourself going.
I did select audio. Let me redo this then.
The video itself was choppy, but that's whatever. All we care about is hearing his voice.
Yeah.
The audio was fine. We don't need to see his face. I mean, do we ever? I mean, but you know that maybe that's personally that's a personal feeling. But is this an interview, or are we just gonna rip apart Roka for the next few minutes? Anyways, how was your day, Bethany? I know that you hit some traffic.
It was very stressful. My whole day, I feel like I was running a little bit behind.
So can you guys hear it?
He's quite
Yeah.
a nice guy.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello, sir. Mr.
I can't
Conductor.
play it on this computer. My computer's too
Mind if we,
slow.
film this? It's a capture to capture like.
Because yeah, I don't hear him,
Technology. We've got
even though I selected share audio.
We could hear it.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And why can't I hear it?
I can hear it.
I hear him.
There's 12 spells and chops.
All right, cool. I don't need to hear anymore.
That is a fourth pick in the fourth round accent. That is
That-
100% call it. That's
Oh, I know why I can't hear it.
Chomps.
Because I muted the tab for mute site, and it was on
Right.
YouTube.
Uh,
I was like,
Well,
no,
it-
that's maybe
luckily-
that's lower than a fourth round accent. That was pretty bad.
it's fine. Don't worry. Luckily, you also played it on your phone there while next to the microphone, so
hear
we
it,
know
yeah.
that you heard it.
hey, whenever I can troll Roka, I will. Because
That's so bad. It's so bad.
We genuinely don't know when or if he'd ever be on this channel at any point.
I told this to
When you
Jeff.
get, what, 4,000 subs or something like that? What was the number?
Yeah, I think that's the rule. Maybe.
Wait, he has a rule?
Like 4,000 followers before he's
Yeah, it was some asinine number.
he's willing to even think about.
That movie came out
So
while
Jesse.
I worked at the movie theater.
We're not on our
Jesse.
you worked at a movie theater?
Don't, Jesse, don't. Just don't, Jesse. That's some.
Yeah, I haven't watched the match yet there, but I know the reference because people
I
have
didn't
already shared
even-
their opinions on it.
First of all, I didn't even reference saying it was from the match. I was trying to not say anything that it had to do with the match. But
Well, I did.
I wouldn't have known if it wasn't for the fact that Jake then put that we
yeah,
had,
I was like, we didn't say that it had to do with the match until Jake brought it up, and then
but
Jeff
I
brought it
now
up.
know
Yeah,
it must
blame
have
Jake.
something to do with it. That's okay, Jake.
Yeah,
I still love
don't worry, guys. People haven't watched the match, and I mean, there's no spoiler ban at this point. It's just us being courteous.
I've also
Yeah.
learned that Jake doesn't like it if you have a typo and call him Jane. So use that for what you will.
Jane Lacavetta. So that's what I
Lacavetta?
There we go.
Jane.
Lacavetta,
Lake-
Jake lacks Vettas. I gotcha.
Listen, Jake, you're gonna feel bad when I have a lightsaber and I attack you with it. So just kidding. I love you. I'm so excited
Lightsabers
to
aren't
see
real,
them.
so you're just gonna be hitting him with a piece of plastic, a bunch.
Listen, you can do some. I've bruised myself a few times in lightsaber class, so you can do some damage.
Great.
You hit someone.
She takes a lightsaber class.
I do.
And
Actually,
now her score's going to skyrocket. I just revealed that.
the amount of bruises I've gotten the most is usually on my knee for when I'm doing I'm falling down on my knee.
What did I just say?
Because it's a wooden floor, but I've also hurt my arm.
So I get what my question with that is. Is it going to be with the first dance? Is that why you're taking these classes?
It is, spoiler alert, it pretty much is our first dance. It's gonna, instead of being a first dance, it's a first duel.
I'm sure you'll all have video right after the reception.
Wow.
Jake, I am counting on you for this video since I can't.
Jake
I
will
don't-
be able to do the video.
He will be in it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
no.
I'm sure one of our many other fans.
Yeah, someone
I almost said fans. That's not the
Fans.
word. Friends.
Oh,
Friends or family. Well, I
that
will
should
say.
all. I'm going to assume that it's going to be in your actual wedding video that's being made, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That,
There will
Yeah.
be professional quality video of it, but I'd also like to assume that someone will be filming it because I will want to see how
I'm
it
sure
turned
it
out
will.
right away.
I
and
also-
I very much look forward to see the professional.
I'm glad it's not Jake filming, because even if he was the one who would be filming, I wouldn't trust it to be very good quality if he has to like try and position it while also holding Bud Light in the other hand. I just don't think that would work out very well.
Okay, we do have a question from Danny. I want to make sure we get to it.
Oh,
Is
he did tweet it.
Yeah, is Gator World open, and can I take a photo with the social distance gorilla?
Yes,
And from 6 feet apart.
Yes, yeah. As long as it's a socially distanced selfie, you certainly can. Yep.
Interesting.
It's true.
Gator World didn't stay closed long at all.
Yeah, Gator World may have been one of the first parks to reopen in Central. It was no.
It opened pretty quick, actually. It wasn't closed that long.
Did we open before? They were open pretty early.
Yeah.
Afterward, yes.
They were one of the
That
first.
sounds like a Florida thing. A place
Yeah.
called Gator World. I think I've been to Gator World. I think there's like I have a mouse. I'm pretty sure we have a mouse pad at my parents' house. That has us with like a big gator and stuff. That sounds right. But that definitely sounds like a Florida place.
He also had a second question. Your favorite Mortal Kombat fatality?
And before you actually now think about it, while I plug, we do have a Streamlabs, streamlab.com/shmowmethemoney. You don't have to donate. Be great if you did, but you don't have to. If you have any other questions for these two that you don't already, try and get your questions in on their channel. Pay us to ask the questions here instead.
All right, so I'm gonna name two of them.
That was beautiful.
I'm gonna give you two. One is ridiculous, and the other one, the original fatality from the original game, Sub-Zero from the original game, ripping your head out with your spine. It's tough to top that. I mean, that's
so good.
what made me fall in love with Mortal Kombat to begin with. And the second one, just because of how ridiculous it is Liu Kang literally turning into a Mortal Kombat arcade cabinet and then squashing his opponent. So
What?
Yeah, there is a fatality where Liu
What?
Kang literally turns into the arcade cabinet of Mortal Kombat 2, if I'm not mistaken. And he goes like this, and then all of a sudden a Mortal Kombat 2 arcade cabinet comes and squashes his opponent. It's fantastic.
That's wild.
Okay, Mike, can you explain where this obsession for Mortal Kombat came from?
Yeah,
I wish we knew.
So, all kidding aside, I grew up. The game came out when I think I was in 5th grade when the original game came out. So it was like the prime time of when everything was going down. It was Super Nintendo and Genesis. I remember playing that game at the roller rink, and that everybody would be lined up at the roller rink. I'm dating myself, but everything that happened with the first 3 games and the first 2 movies was when I was an early teenager for the most part.
Okay.
So it was the perfect time for me, in terms of everything that happened with that. I remember the original game, all the controversy with and learning, the blood code. If anybody knows what that is from Sega Genesis, because all the games originally were censored, and the Super Nintendo one was super, super censored. But Genesis had a cheat nip. If you hit the buttons A, B, A, C, A, B, B on the title screen, it all of a sudden became the arcade version with all the blood and violence, and it made the game so much better.
I think I remember that. I used to play that.
I did too.
Yeah, I used to play. There was when I was younger, and I would go to like a babysitter's. Like they would bring us to their house, and for a while it was this girl Adriana, and then when she went off to do other stuff, it was her older brother who was like just sitting around. He became the babysitter, and then we would play games like in his room while just waiting around. And I remember doing that exact thing with his more. That was crazy. This is the only Mortal Kombat game that I own right now.
Yeah.
However, my PS5 just arrived, so I think I'm going to get Mortal Kombat 11 on there.
Love it.
And maybe try and play that a bit in the next month to get ready, just to kind of amp myself up.
So the funny thing is, I actually haven't owned a new video game system since Nintendo 64. So after Mortal Kombat 4, I don't know anything about any of the games after that. It's just the original 3, and to an extent 4. I beat 4 the first day I bought it, so I kind of lost interest in it like almost immediately after that. But the first 3 games and the original movies is where most of my fandom comes into. And again, it was, I was between 13 and 17 when all that happened. So
yeah,
I'm so bad at those games. That's why I haven't bought it yet.
Yeah.
Like I my hands just are not fast enough to do all those combos.
I mean, luckily you don't have to worry about your hands. You just have to worry about your fingers. But the
original one wasn't too bad. Aside from the test your might see, those were a pain in the ass, especially trying to break the diamond. That was a pain.
We would play Mortal Kombat 10 in my house at school, and my friend, one of my housemates, we would play a lot, and then he would do that one move where it's like you do the low and then kick over and over and over and over, and it's this real cheap move because it gets you stuck and you can't get out of there, and you just
lock it.
You can't do it.
Against it.
I did figure out a way to get him to stop, and that was to take my controller and hit him on the knee with it every time.
That's a smart strategy. I think where your head's at right there.
So and it hurt him, but it made me feel good.
What was her name?
Jerry is calling you out, Mike. Jerry's calling you out.
I'll openly admit I can tell you anything about the first 3 games, and then after that, like the games are not very depth. It was more the movies.
He's such a nerd that he read the novelization
of the movie. Yep, I did.
Right.
Wow, I didn't.
So we did get a Streamlabs, by the way.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We got a Streamlabs, $5 from Jerry. So excited for the wedding. My question is, Jake is part of your wedding party. Why?
Well, Jerry, it's an excellent question.
We like to live dangerously, and
he's a good egg when he wants to be. No, he's a good egg. We had a quota where we needed someone to drink as much.
He's a quota filler. Is that what you're saying?
So we had a quota for someone to drink some Bud Light, and Jake fit that bill. So
listen, when you're spending this much for an open bar, you want to make sure you have
you want to make sure that someone is going to get their money's worth out of it. And
as someone who just had a wedding a year and a half ago, yeah, open bars, you want to make sure that sometimes you have people there that you get all the money out of that.
Exactly.
Definitely want to make sure that open bar is emptied.
Also, I just really wanted to see Jake Acavetta without a hat.
And in a suit.
And so I figured this was my time, if we're like, he's at our wedding, then he has to.
I'll be serious for a second. I'll tell you the real story of how this all. We became friends with Jake in 2019, and last year for Christmas I set up a surprise trip for Bethany to take her to the Brooklyn Live event. She didn't know about it till Christmas, and I was talking with Jake about stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm going to see if I can get like some people to send her a message or something. And I got a 3-minute video montage of Schmoedown competitors telling Bethany she was going to Brooklyn that Jake made. At that point, I knew that Jake was going to be a lifelong friend. I still do have the video. So
I love to bust Jake's balls all day long, but Jake is Jake's like one of the coolest people that I've ever met.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I think he's the definition of he would give the shirt off his back to help someone type of person.
But I don't want to see his hairy ass shirtless. I've seen that before. I don't want to see that again.
Again, I just want to see the no hat and in a suit. Mm-hmm. And I think
I've seen it. Him without a hat is so weird.
It's a sight.
It's very bizarre.
It's like Mike when you were on for the Schmoe Me the Money the episode a couple weeks ago. Had never seen Chance without sunglasses on before. I had never seen. I was when I realized I'd never seen his pupils.
That's true.
It was really off-putting.
Also the reason for the best.
I remember that. That was right after that I joined this space too. It was so weird. It was like a month after I joined, and Jake's like, "Do you want to come on?" I'm like,
"Today, actually,
sure."
A year ago. Yeah.
So wait a minute, just to confirm. So you guys were in Brooklyn last January with the Triple Threat.
Yeah.
And did you go to the bar afterwards with everyone?
Oh,
God damn! I was there. I didn't know anyone. I missed everyone that I'm friendly with.
You also stole Kevin Smith's
Uber.
Yeah, that's true. That's kind of.
I will not say what I said last time because that was really, really bad.
Don't you fucking say that, and I won't say all the things I said last time.
That was a little much.
How about that?
A ton of us were in Brooklyn. There was a lot of us at that Brooklyn.
That's my favorite thing about
I wish I would have
more
went
you
to
like
that.
get into the community and you know people and you realize how many times like you could have met that person. You're like, oh wait a minute, you were there. Like when we like, for instance, our fellow podcast host Juice, like we were talking about like the Chicago event.
Star Wars
Like we
celebration.
were there and he was there, but we did not know each other at the time. So like we were in the same room and we had no idea. So yeah,
I can't wait
Yeah.
until we can go back to live event. Like the
Absolutely.
first live event, it's gonna be
It's gonna
so
be
many.
insane. It's just gonna be a party.
The first live event
It's a party.
is kind of our wedding.
You literally, if you miss Christian saying that we're getting one, you may not get a ticket. They're
Right.
gonna go so
Oh,
fast.
yeah, like
Absolutely. I like one thing that I was thinking of for generals or whatever was
I'll
if
be
like
right
if
back.
people. All right, goodbye, Buck. One thing that I was thinking of for general.
Bye.
Goodbye. I hope you find your dad. And was just this idea of like maybe for some people, if live events, you know, you're waiting, you get that itch to scratch, and you don't have live events, like Zach really likes the symmetry. He likes shapes to be equal and whatnot. Is like for if enough of us get like vaccinations to like set up, organize some sort of like a like a live viewing party.
That'd be cool.
Like you get like a big Airbnb that's like a big house, and it's like people that have been able to get vaccinated at that point, and then be able to like organize one where it's like everyone can do like a big watch along together of like one big pay-per-views that weekend. You just have a huge crazy weekend, like that sort of thing. If like that could be a good way.
he's there.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah, I had to grab my charger. It had like 2%. I was like, oh no, gotta go.
We missed you.
So the Brooklyn event, like this is something I don't think I've ever told on air before, but the night before the Brooklyn event, we got in late. We had a later flight, so we didn't get to go to Ellis's show. There was another podcast that was having issues and stuff, and one of the people who was part of that was like apologizing profusely to Christian over something they had done.
Oh gosh, yes, I recall that.
And so like Christian's kind of trying to get him away. He's like, you need to pick better people to do things with. And we had just done Schmoe baits, and Christian's like, he looked at Bethany and he's like, that's the kind of people you want to associate with. We didn't start a podcast at that point or anything, but that's kind of sort of where the idea the seed was planted.
Mostly because I was like, I don't think I'm remotely interesting enough to host a podcast.
But
and then I was like,
inadvertently,
well,
Harloff was
if Christian
partially
Harloff thinks I
responsible for
am,
what the
then
show.
maybe
You don't have to be interesting to host anything. Look at me.
Yeah, look at me and Jeff. We're just two average guys.
I disagree. I think you're very interesting.
But
Thank
yeah,
you so much.
When
Thank you so much for calling me interesting. Hold on, I'm not giving her enough points. All right, I'm done.
when we really got to start to know AJ though, that was like, all right, we should do this.
Originally, it was going to be. I still was not thinking I was interesting or whatever enough. And damn straight, Jake, and don't you ever forget.
And Harloff gave me so much shit about that night.
But I mean, really, the show that was definitely more you and AJ.
It was just me and AJ to begin with. Like Juice and Bethany was going to be there. Like when she wanted
Juice
to.
is the coolest person we all know. So obviously
He has the best stash I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So,
Yeah,
like,
and unlike the other big mustache guy that people talk about, he doesn't look like he's been told he's not allowed within 500 feet of a school.
I like to think. I mean, yeah, I guess when you are married to the person, you're like, oh, is this person?
I guess that's news to her.
Much better.
Shut the fuck up. There's no one there.
I think that PLD is quality stuff.
Just give it like 5 minutes, and I bet Paul just shows up in the chat randomly.
If you talk shit about his stash, he like
Ed Harris is a terrible actor.
No, he looks like if he wanted to cosplay as John Waters, but forgot to stop doing it.
Ooh, Will throwing shade in the chat.
I can't think of anybody.
I can think of anybody.
Good. Anyways, who else can we talk shit on?
Let's see. It was John Roca for a little bit, then it was Jake Jacobetta.
Oh, yeah, we got
Now it's
PLD.
PLD
Who do we move
sad.
on to next?
Who else could I possibly talk shit about? There's so many.
Good
people.
question. There's a lot of people. Yeah, Zach wants us to talk shit on Donatello. Obviously, he is the worst. He is supposedly the worst of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He is allegedly a fraud. I still don't understand the joke, but I'm there with you, man.
Well, fuck you, Donatello.
Why is Donatello?
Yeah, fuck you, Donatello.
I'm not.
What?
Oh, Jerry would like us to talk shit about him. Jerry, I like you too much. I have nothing negative to say about you.
I will say when Janice made the Jerry drinking game during Schmoedown, that was kind of funny.
Janice was on the other day, and Janice was on our channel the other day, and Zach and John Lestrina and some other people, they were all just writing quotes out from Fast and the Furious. Just the first one. They're just quoting it out of context. Nothing had been brought up, and then Frank just goes,
You just started it. He just
he started doing it. 40 pounds. Frank just goes, are they just writing quotes from Fast and the Furious in the chat right now?
Yeah.
And it ended the conversation there because he got way too distracted with that.
He's like,
it's an amazing machine, Zach. 40 weight sounds nice. You're right.
Oh my God,
Zach
could do this.
Y'all can just quote the first Fast and Furious off the top of your head.
So, Mike, I've never seen Mortal Kombat Annihilation before.
Oh, we need you to watch along.
I was about to say that is. I've definitely talked to AJ about a few different titles for watch-alongs. One that I definitely I think it was like a day or two ago I suggested to him. No, it was last night. I messaged. I said, it'd be a great watch-along. Is oh no, PLD did enter the chat.
We summoned him.
Fucking dare you.
I feel like Jake went and told him.
Oh no.
Oh, PLD. I love it when you're summoned. It makes me so happy.
Oh boy. But to be honest, I said, hey, we should watch The Love Guru.
Oh, wow. I saw that movie once. I get where your head's at.
Do you like torture? Like, I feel like you were the
That's
biggest...
what a watch-along is supposed to be.
Know, but y'all are like too masochistic sometimes with it. I can get down with
you
that.
You want to talk masochistic? This sounds super weird out of context. Ask AJ about the project that we've started working on. I don't know if you've heard about it.
We don't want this stream taken off the air.
Now I'm intrigued.
Now we're discussing stuff involving worst franchises ever. And that involves watching through an entire awful franchise and then talking about it. You go.
The very first time we did a drunk review actually is something similar to that, but in the other way. A coworker of ours, it was 2 years ago when Game of Thrones was ending. The two of us were not Game of Thrones people. And he's like, you two should just have a bunch of drinks and watch the final episode and do a review of it. We didn't know what it was going to be, and I had never seen a single episode. So
I'd seen some.
So we literally, the very first drunk review we ever did was the last episode of Game of Thrones from two people who really didn't watch the show. So you go find.
I still have a lot of feelings about it, though, weirdly enough. I was like, man, I'm really pissed off about this, and I did not invest 8 years of my life. So I feel really bad for people who did.
Yeah.
I got very excited when I saw a dragon burn down a throne out of like a temper tantrum. That was fantastic.
Yeah, but it was really obvious and not well done in the reasoning behind it. It was very dumb. But the worst thing about the end of Game of Thrones was just that the way that they wrap it up means that so much of the stuff they built up to ultimately meant nothing. So all that ends up meaning is you spent 8 years of build up that everyone's like, oh, it's one of those things. It's like, oh, it was all about the journey, not the destination. Not the destination made the journey pointless.
Right.
So. It's my wife is being nice to PLD in the chat. I'm not a fan of this.
I'm here for it. Love me some PLD.
Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of fun, like weird stuff going on. I got a question then for you guys. Obviously you've been doing What the Show for what now? Like
started in
a few
October,
months at least. Yeah.
I think it started in October.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that like Buck and I, when we've been doing this, it's been really fun, really exciting. Like how's it been for you guys to now like have this sort of like weekly thing that you're doing?
It depends on the week. Some of them are easier than others, if I'm being honest. Usually once we get on the show, it's great. There have been, we've had a couple of times where it's been like, shit, someone canceled on us last second and we've had to come up with something spur of the moment. But,
oh, you mean like 2 days ago, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's only happened. Well, that's happened because of guests now twice.
Mm-hmm.
And because of us once. But
one time it was limited on us.
One time was on us. But the first time was on Ferris. So I'm going to say, fuck you, Ferris, because that was supposed to be the original Cats episode. And that was way back when. But no, for the most part, like, we've had a lot of fun with it. If anybody who's watched the shows, we've had some real goofy stream. We don't, we take pride in being off the rails. Just the fact, like, hanging out with people like the movie guys.
Goddamn link. I love when Jake to pin the goddamn link. That's one of my favorite things. I think my favorite thing is that, it's just being able to you have like a kind of like a weekly fun session to just like talk with your friends. And then like sometimes our friend group is like bigger. Just the podcast host, and sometimes it's bigger. We get fun guests, and then all the people in the chat are obviously like friends and whatever. So it's just fun because certain people that I'm not like maybe wouldn't be the best at like keeping in touch with on the regular. I have a weekly thing that like helps me keep in touch with these people. So that's super nice. And then also it's just like a good thing to like do. Like sometimes you just have ideas and you're like, when would I utilize this idea? Like I love theme parks and theme park trivia. And then I was like, we have this thing now and we know people that we could ask these questions to. I'm going to write these questions. And
like we had PJ Campbell as a contestant in trivia, which was like, how did we pull this off? And
I also like that
we love PJ, by the way.
Our silly, stupid time where we get to talk to our friends for a couple hours each week has turned into raising a lot of money for charity too. Like that's awesome. Again, like every month when AJ totals up the thing, I'm like, oh, like that's a good little chunk of change. And we just like stupidly talk to each other for a couple hours every Tuesday. That's nice. That's heartwarming.
Yeah. Like it's crazy how much like we've raised, and since we started doing the charity, we started doing the Streamlabs in December, and I guess it's about 3 months.
Which is all thanks to like people like you guys. Like obviously like we, like we throw in a little bit, but like honestly it's everyone. Like it's half the people that are like in this chat. Like the two of you I know have donated. Like it's literally like, again, like I feel like we can't even really take credit because it's like all the lovely people like Jake. Who Ferris.
Jake literally throws money around like it's going out of style.
I know.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I'm so annoyed that I didn't know Jake when I was in Brooklyn because I got a lot of drinks there, and if I knew that he was going to end up possibly paying for part of them, that would have been so much better.
You know what his tab was? His tab. I sent a Streamlab into SEN on Monday, and I put down what his tab was on after the Ellis show, and it broke Goddard. Like Goddard just lost his shit.
Goddard's like, yeah, that sounds right. That definitely sounds right.
I left that Ellis show right after the show was done to go find like some of the best ramen that was in New York that night. That was good, but some of those crazy nights afterwards, I bet they're expensive.
It was like oh, Jake.
I mean, like it's become like a tradition now at a live show that at some point or another, Jake Iacovetta is going to walk out with a tray of shots, or there's going to be just shots on the bar.
He will lose his debit/credit card at some point in the evening. That's pretty much a guarantee.
Someone should just hold on to it for him. Like,
yeah.
I think at one point, was it Jerry? If you're still around, just correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't you hold on to it at one point, or someone? Billy did. Billy Belford did. Yeah. Was like, listen, I'm just taking this now to the end of the night, so we know I don't have to drive you back to the goddamn bar tomorrow morning to like retrieve it. I feel like it's probably Billy.
Kim did it once too.
Yeah.
Kim Denuzzo
did it once too. But I think the last time in Atlanta before the world shut down was also, I think I was talking about this earlier today when I was with my maid of honor running errands. today, I think, was the day when we were sitting at the Nomad Lounge and basically like we found out that the world was starting to shut down.
Your day off. I saw it on my Facebook memories. A year ago today, we were sitting with Chance Ellison at the cantina at Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, so we were at Hollywood Studios Day, which is the day that Tom Hanks got the Rona.
Yep.
And that also was like, oh man.
Oh, I remember when people lost their shit. They're like, Tom Hanks got it? Oh, this shit's
And the NBA
And the
shut
NBA
down,
shut
like with
down.
the announcement of that and the NBA shutting down were like within
We had
10
just
minutes.
watched
Yeah.
the last Galactic Spectacular. I would watch for a very long time because they're not doing fireworks at Disney World right now. So we watched that. We walk out, and I was like, Tom Hanks has the Rona.
PLD is worthwhile now.
Jake offered us.
So tomorrow is Zach's 1 year anniversary from working from home.
I've been home for what was it here? Let me see. If I go back to 2020 March, I
think mine was
started
sometime in April.
So the official lockdown and everything was March 20th, like the day that A Quiet Place Part 2 was supposed to come out.
Right.
I spent my first day that I decided that I was going to stay home was March 9th. So I just passed my 1 year of being home for a full year. It's been crazy, but one of the big things that's come out of it, I think that's been really exciting is this sort of stuff.
Right.
And I mean, like it's been like sometimes some of this can just kind of make you go crazy, and things like this can really, really help.
100%.
And the kind of friends that have been made through all of this, you guys are going to have people that you haven't even met in person that are going to be at your wedding.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
true.
That's 100% an accurate statement. Yeah. No, it's like Jake was talking about my birthday stream, my Crazy Fire birthday stream. We were all like talking about that a little bit earlier, but like that was, yeah, like I really think, and that was around the time that you and AJ got like really serious about the podcast too, was because of all, like everyone got like really into like the digital space and streaming and all of this during that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to know why AJ and we became friends? He literally, like, when we were out of work, sent us a PayPal and stuff. He's like, hey man, love what you're doing. Here's this. Go rent Southland Tales and do a review for me. I'm like,
Which, like, thanks for the money, AJ, but also that was
fucking convinced me, and I still haven't watched the full thing yet. He convinced me to buy it. I still haven't watched this 3-hour fucking
how
class.
obsessed AJ is with Southland Tales, that he is like convinced everyone
he
that he
convinced
knows
Coy
to
to
watch
review
it.
it.
And by him convincing, I mean to say he just told me to watch it. I'm like, I'll fucking buy it. And then I bought it. I still haven't watched it. It's 158 minutes, the new cut of this. I watched the original cut. I watched the original cut 14 years ago.
It's so bad.
It was wild. It was wild. I know that the director of this movie, Richard Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Richard Kelly, the next movie he made came out on November 6th, 2009. Because I knew because it was coming out on my birthday. He made that movie The Box with Cameron Diaz.
There's a fantastic Funny or Die parody of that. If you've never seen it.
It's not even... The Box is based on like a Twilight Zone thing.
Yeah.
But there's a Funny or Die thing.
There's a Funny or Die thing it's 3 minutes long. Find it. It's really worthwhile seeing.
Yeah, Brandy made everyone watch Teen Witch because of her C2A movie challenge.
I was made to watch. I'm going with Brandy's pick 10 times out.
We also reviewed Teen Witch.
10 times out of 10. Brandy, that was a way better choice than what AJ made me there.
Teen Witch, I should have had a drink when I was watching Teen Witch.
I did.
I should have had a
delightful.
It was
delightful. Oh, it's so good. I love it.
There was something.
It was so
certain.
good.
Man.
I have some good vibes for that.
So I mean, do you have anything like special planned in the next few weeks before you get married, or is it really just like you're just really locking in on that?
He's about to go on his bachelor party where hopefully he'll be very safe, because I'm very stressed out about the fact that it's very close to the wedding, which means that if anyone were to yes, Ferris, I always beat Mike's ass. That's pretty much my goal. But He's very close to the wedding, which makes me nervous because if someone were to come down with a certain, thing that's been going around, they wouldn't have enough time to quarantine before the wedding. So
Yeah.
a little bit stressed out about that. But I did make the best man promise to have everyone get tested before they entered the house. So hopefully, and they're all staying in the house the entire time and getting drunk off their minds. So hopefully we'll all be okay. But yeah, I mean, he's going to go have fun and get drunk and eat steak, and I'm going to just sit at home and stress and do all the last minute. I still feel like there's so much that needs to be done, and we are 23 days away. So I'm stressed, but
it will all be worth it on the day, though.
It's all going to be worth it. You're going to be super stressed.
yeah.
And the day of, you might still be stressed. I remember very clearly we were in the hotel building. Everyone's getting themselves together. So my wife and her mom and everyone there, they're getting themselves together. They're getting their hair done and all that other stuff. I'm with my groomsmen and we're all just in the restaurant because, it doesn't take us nearly as long to get ready. So we're all having breakfast together. And then the hotel's fire alarms go off.
Oh, no.
And everyone had to leave. So we all step outside. And then they all come walking from a different entrance, and like you see them in like bathrobes and stuff, and I'm like, and then I remember seeing my uncle and my grandfather standing in the doorway in this area, and I'm like, what are they doing? It's like, we're not going to go outside. And then I look in the window, and they're at the table where we left our food. Is my dad sitting there continuing to eat because he's like, where am I going to go? The door is right there. I'm going to finish eating right now.
I respect it 100%.
Yeah. Stressful stuff happens.
Everyone, basically, my mom and a couple other people have told me, which is like probably the best advice I've gotten, and yet still I stress, is no one but you knows what's supposed to happen or what it's supposed to look like. So like, don't stress out about it. Like if something doesn't happen the way you thought it was going to, if a piece of the centerpiece is missing, no one is going to know but you. So like, don't stress out about it. And I was like, true story. So when I get really stressed out, I try to remind myself of that, but like easier said than done.
Yeah.
But that's probably like the best advice I've gotten is like, no one but you knows how anything is supposed to be. So just like our
69. We're all fucking children.
No shit.
Hold on, he's laughing a lot, so 59, not as nice.
59, 69. Yes, and we have to make sure that the caterer does not serve.
We had
beans.
specific instructions under dietary needs on a certain somebody's RSVP that said no beans.
Don't worry, Juice. We met with our lovely caterer, Charles, the other day, and I said no beans for the juice.
Did
So I
you
got a
really
question.
say no beans
No
for
beans
the juice?
for the
That's
juice.
literally what the RSVP said.
And I was like, and AJ said, don't give any context. Like, don't explain what that
No
means.
beans. for
Just
the
be like,
juice.
no beans for the juice.
So I question for you then. When it comes to like your seating plan here, I don't want to go like too far into your details here.
Yeah.
Do you have like, are you gonna have like placards or whatever for everyone's placement, or are you gonna have a big sign where people go?
The little cards, yeah.
All right, and is his going to just say the juice on it, or is his gonna have a full name?
His is saying the juice, and AJ's is saying Captain AJ Lancaster, because that is what we addressed their invites to. It said Captain AJ Lancaster. So that is what his will say. We had.
How do you alphabetize those?
Yeah.
How do you alphabetize the words the juice?
I have a friend. Her real name is Amanda, and I sometimes forget that her name is Amanda because I only refer to her as Chicken Daddy. So her placard will say Chicken Daddy, and like I know she'll find it because like that's what she'll look for. Like she won't look for Amanda. So anyone else looking is gonna be like, who in the hell is Chicken Daddy and the juice? But they'll know.
Chicken Daddy and the juice.
Chicken Daddy and the juice. Someone make that a show. I'd watch it.
Chicken Daddy and the Juice sounds like a crazy, like late 70s buddy cop film. Where it's like you got O.J. Simpson before he was awful.
Before he
and
murdered.
like
Yeah.
I don't know. Chicken Daddy and the Juice are the untold adventures of Colonel Sanders and O.J. Simpson as buddy cops there. You know who the chicken daddy is. You know who the Juice are. Now let's see them off in their white Broncos saving the day.
Oh no. Then it took a turn.
The Juice is loose.
No, it didn't take a turn. He went straight right down the highway.
Yeah, it's true. Right down the 405 or wherever it was.
There might also be a card that just says Switchblade.
Ooh.
Oh, we all know who that is.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any. I think my two favorites are Chicken Daddy and the Juice.
Chicken Daddy and the Juice.
The Juice. I'm now gonna put their cards next to each other. I know, like usually people put the placard cards like in alphabetical order, so it makes it easy to find. But now I'm thinking about this buddy cop from the 70s, and I'm like, no, I have to put their things. So Juice, look for yours. It'll be right next to Chicken Daddy's.
Chicken Daddy. And
Also, Brandy, if you intend to sit next to Jake at the wedding, you will be sitting at, we are dubbing the Last Supper table, because that is where Jake will be sitting. But like, we've got room for you. Come on down. Come on down. Price is right.
Nice.
We actually only have so much room because there are COVID restrictions, and they
of course,
have our wedding. But I like to say, but the show's out, Chicken Daddy in the works. Hell yeah, Juice! Oh, you know the way to my heart. Great, one of the best mustaches in the biz, and he knows the way to my heart.
Probably the best mustache in the biz. So,
the average lightsaber, Jake, is 36 and 36 inches. Is it inches? Yes. I don't know how much that is in feet.
36 inches is 3 feet because it's 12, 12, 12.
Okay, so then so if you just hold two lightsabers back to back, you will have.
Or if you just duct tape it, the bottom, so you make your own homemade Darth Maul.
I'm into that. Sith Lord Bethany. I'm not the Sith Lord, though. He is.
That's mine.
That makes sense there. So last thing here before I think we close out is we got a new Mortal Kombat movie coming out next month. How excited are you for it?
I'm gonna put it this way. It'll be coming out while we are on our honeymoon,
No,
and
the
I
day
think
after we get back.
Well, yes, but technically we're still off for our honeymoon.
Right.
And it is the thing that he is the most excited about for our honeymoon. So
Is it to be over so he can watch it?
So he can watch more. He has full plans to watch it like 13 times the day that it comes out. So
It's gonna happen.
Can I just say, right before we end everything here, for months before I knew who either of you were, in the Action Generals chat, there would always be these things about Mortal Kombat, and then Mike would randomly say, like, I guess today's the day, and he sends a picture of him watching Mortal Kombat or something. I'm like, is this a bit? Is he just doing a bit, or is he actually watching Mortal Kombat?
I want you to know that probably 9 times out of 10, he really then would watch it. So I wish it was a bit for my sanity. I really wish it would have been a bit, but no, he just really watched it that much.
Wow.
I have no idea why.
I feel like he can watch it with his eyes closed and quote the entire movie.
Like, still know exactly what's going on. And all really, so he was, like we were saying earlier, like all joking aside, all seriousness, he like just really loved it as a kid, just really loved it. And then when they talked about it on Action Guys, he just was like, it was like he remembered, he would like to say it. He remembered like how much he loved it. And then we started talking about it so much. And of course it became like our call sign. And then again, one of those things, like quarantine, you're sitting around a lot. We're all at home a lot more often than we used to be. And it just was like, it became like his comfort food. Like, I don't even know. Like he just, but my favorite thing was, I cannot stress enough how much of a memory he does not have. But we're sitting there and like, then I'd never seen it until just this year or past year, I guess, technically, if you know what I mean. And so we're sitting there watching, you know, like Ben and Drew talk about it. And he was like telling me, like, he'd be like, oh yeah, and then Arlene and the novelization. I'm like, why do you remember things about Mortal Kombat, but you cannot remember like anything ever? Again, we had to make our wedding anniversary idiot proof so he would remember it, but he can recall ridiculous information on Mortal Kombat. But then, yeah, I guess then he just started like watching it every day. And I was like, well, this is probably why you can recall things about it. But yeah, then I somehow became like a Mortal Kombat. I don't even know. I've never played the game ever. Like ever. But I just
it's a fighting game. People like, fight. It's pretty standard.
Yeah, that I kind of gathered. But the movies, I've seen the movies, and I'm excited to watch the next one. And I have a weird love-hate relationship with them, but I love the theme song. That's obviously the best part. And I'm happy to have Kitana as my call sign. And yeah, it just kind of became our thing.
We'll definitely have to bring Mike on when that movie comes out and we do our review.
Yeah, I think he'll be.
I'm going to be busy that weekend. I think.
Oh, I bet you will.
Review on What the Show, then he'll come on to review here.
Absolutely.
Like, want to review? Then in Drew might be like, hey, come on.
Yeah, but then when that happens, you can actually make jokes about it. It's just like, I want to be here talking about Mortal Kombat instead of spending time with my wife. You'll get to be able to say that. Yeah.
But yeah, like again, we're going to Hawaii. We have like this big honeymoon planned, and he's legitimately most excited about Mortal Kombat coming out. I'm like, okay, we could just all right, we're going to Hawaii, but you don't even care about that. We're gonna be married, but he's like Mortal Kombat.
Contemplated spending the money to rent out the private theater that day. So
Yes. Also, he did request that we play the Mortal Kombat theme at the wedding, and I'm kind of okay with it. Weirdly enough,
Yeah.
I'm like maybe.
Honestly, that sounds like the kind of thing that you should do as like either when you walk after the kiss, when you walk down the aisle to leave.
we're not going to spoil that. We're not going to spoil that. We have something fun for that.
We have a very again. It is in line of theme songs of movie theme songs.
No, I gotcha.
In that wheelhouse, and it is.
I understand.
Chef's kiss. It's so
yeah,
good.
like for us, we had a live orchestra, not a live orchestra. It was a recording of Dearly Beloved from Kingdom Hearts. The whole like 5 minutes track, it worked perfectly for the walking down the aisle. And then when we left, it was the London Philharmonic Orchestra recording of a medley of Legend of Zelda music.
Nice.
Like the super triumphant music that you hear during that level in Super Smash Brothers. That's what you got to hear after the kiss.
Oh, I like that. I'd like to think ours is hopefully going to be in that tier.
It's just, I hope, like, I'll have to drop hints like right before the wedding for people to watch the movie it's in.
I think some people will instantly know. Some people might not be aware of it. Also, Jake was just talking about Still Dre being the first dance. Still Dre is not going to be the first dance, but it is incorporated in our wedding.
There's a place somewhere.
So get excited.
So last question, and then I think we're gonna wrap it up here and be done. Is all right. So Sandstorm by Darday. Do you know that?
You
know
just
that
broke
song
up.
there? Oh, you know Sandstorm by Darday? Do you know that it's like oh man, oh shoot. I was gonna ask which one you like better, that or Mortal Kombat, and now I suddenly can only get Mortal Kombat in my head. Guess that answer, isn't it? It's the Mortal Kombat one, isn't it? When Sandstorm by Darday, that's a classic one too. It makes me think of Mortal Kombat so much.
Now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big fan of Mortal Kombat theme though. Obviously.
Yeah.
Kind of my shit.
But anyways, this was great. I'm really happy that you guys were able to make time
Thanks
to
for
come
having
on
us
here.
on.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'd love to have you back sometime, Bethany, maybe one time if you pay attention and want like come on to argue Schmoedown at any point. You're more than welcome to try to make it work with your schedule. And at some point. Yeah. It's so yeah, this was great. But for anything, like where can people find you on the internet? Did it just go down one point? Mike doesn't have 69 anymore. What happened?
I did that, so then it'd be 6886. So it's like a sandwich.
I'm so upset.
I'm with it, Buck. I like it.
Give her 96. Give her another 10 points.
Keep it as is. I like it. I like the symmetry of it. I like that it annoys him a little bit. I like everything about it.
All right. What I like is where you guys can be found.
With you, but I want you to know, because I saw that you said that you are Georgia alum, that I am a Florida Gator.
Oh
I'm
no!
willing to, I'm willing to overlook it, Ashley.
no.
If you're willing to overlook it, because other than that, I think we could gel.
Oh boy! That's not good.
So, but where can people find you, man? Where can people find you? Where can they find you guys?
They can find me on my Twitter account that I barely ever use. You can find us every Tuesday on What the Show. It's a lovely time. It is on at, oh God, I'm always the worst, 11 o'clock Eastern time.
8
10
Pacific,
o'clock Central,
10 Central,
and 8 p.m. Pacific. And also B11 Curls, my Instagram handle. And you can also find him on What the Show Pod, obviously, every Tuesday. And when we do fun things, fun pop-up streams.
Yeah, so this coming Tuesday, John Lestrina is going to be joining us. It's 3:16, so we're doing Wrestlers in Film.
Yes. And we do.
That's nice. You got a
great.
John 3:16 scheduled. That's awesome. Very good.
I'm excited.
How very biblical.
Yeah, and I don't really use much I'm on Facebook, and I run the Twitter for What the Show. So yeah, that's where you can find me mostly.
Absolutely. That's awesome. And Buck, where can people find you?
Can find me here, Brandon Buck88 on Twitter. You can also find me here on Schmoe Me the Money with all of our different content that we have. If you've been on the channel, you know what we do. You can also find the show Twitter at Schmoe Me Money. Go ahead and give us a follow on there to see all the amazing stuff we tweet about. We basically just tweet about what stuff we have coming up. So, Jeff, where can we find you?
You could find me here at this desk when we film things, and also on Twitter at GEOFF1106. It's at Jeff1106. I use that in order to communicate with people and to tweet things. You can also find us tomorrow night, midnight Eastern, 9 Pacific. We are going to be returning with our second installment of The Family Show. The Family Show is where we have a retrospective of the Fast and Furious franchise. Why are we doing that right now? There's no reason to talk about Fast and Furious. There's nothing going on with it. So why do we start it in fucking March? Felt like it.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. So we're doing that tomorrow night. We got Ferris Mathana on. We got John Lestrina, and we have Zach McDonald, the guy who's always helping us out with so much behind the scenes here. He's the guy that makes these. Yeah, he's the guy that makes these scoreboards run. It really helps us out a whole lot. We can't really do any of this without him. And yeah, I mean, after that, we might be moving to. You what?
I have a request on that. When you guys are done with the movies, you need to bring the two of us on to talk about the ride.
I have a lot of thoughts.
Ooh, that is a great idea.
Ooh, that is a great
I'm here
idea.
for you with the ride.
That's a great idea.
Chance Ellison also survived the ride, and I'm sure she would be willing to talk about his experience on it.
Justin.
I would absolutely love to schedule that. That's months. That's like 2 months in advance.
Right,
right.
It's a while away.
Yeah, you have a lot of. We're only on the second one, so yeah, you've got a while.
Yeah, we got time. There's a lot of movies. There's 9 movies.
We can rant on that ride for a long time.
Can I also just say before you wrap up, Ashley and I have come to an understanding, and she's willing to overlook. So look, everyone, happy ending.
Yes, she's friends with Nikki, who's also a Gator fan.
Yeah,
so
she's also a Gator.
But other than that, we got our shows Tuesdays, 9:30, depending on people's schedules, Eastern, and 6:30, depending on people's schedules, Pacific. Other than that, yeah, we got some fun stuff that we're still working on, and we hope that you stick around with us. Make sure after this is done, make sure that you like it, that you subscribed. When this video is over, please comment in there. It just helps the algorithm, all that other bullshit, etc. And yeah, that's it. You know what? We don't even need to have some sort of clever thing. We can literally cut it off in the middle of the sentence. I'm going to keep vamping until Buck just